We'll get
Okay.
started.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Greetings and welcome to Sonship Communications presents Express Yourself, where we deal with news and viewpoints relevant to the African American community. I'm Ibrahim Keith Walker, and I'm proud to have my guest today, Anthony Cannady. He is actually giving back, and I'm going to let him start it off. He is informed me that he feeds the homeless, about 100 people 7 days a week. Mr. Cannady, thank you for coming on. Could you tell us how you got started with that?
Yeah, got started. I came out of corporate America. I had a daughter that, have a daughter that's an attorney, and I did a lot of work to get her to be an attorney. When I say get her to be an attorney, worked, but I always trained her also that we owe back to our communities. So my wife, during the pandemic, fed the seniors at our church, and she turned me into a delivery person. And also then I found out that we were financing it. So we believe in giving back. Let me put it that way. And a contract came up to feed in DC, came in to feed the rehabs. And I said, you know what, it would be great to do that. But you have to have all the concept done. The concept meaning we needed to get a commercial kitchen. So we did. There were some steps to getting it, to doing all of that, to be able to feed folks. All of a sudden, we went from 50 people to 100 people. We went to feeding breakfast, lunch, and dinner, not one meal, but 3 meals. So that's CBFL. But we were coming out of corporate America again. We owned a franchise in Washington, which was not a food franchise. It was a dessert franchise. We still own it today. It's called Rita's Italian Ice. It's inside of the Mystics Ballpark here in Washington, also inside of Walt T. Washington Convention Center. So a lot of it, Keith, as I shared with you, those pieces were in place. I had people that were working with food safety, and we wanted to give the rehabs not inferior food, but we wanted to give them a meal. So if they're getting medical help, they should have nutrition help. So that's CBFL in a nutshell. That's the heart of it. Yeah, that's the heart of it.
Now, where are you located? I mean, where are you doing this work at? I mean, I know
where particularly? You kind of chopping up, but we're located at 910 17th Street Northwest, which is inside of the bar building. That's where our office is at. We're located at 12th and Franklin for our commercial kitchen. So we're located in 2 different places. One place is where we're producing the product at. The other one is our corporate office.
Now, so the people you're feeding, are they in the DC area, or I mean, particularly, or Maryland or DC?
They're DC. They're DC. People that go to the rehabs that the police or the ambulance pick up. They really have they really are not they haven't done any crime or anything other than they're homeless. So those are the folks that they bring in, and those are the folks that we feed, and we make food starting at 2 o'clock in the morning. We finish making dinner around I want to say about 12:30 every day, and then that food is shipped to those rehabs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, where are the rehab centers just throughout Washington? Then,
it's throughout Washington, because there's some houses that they have rehabs in, and then there's a building at 35 K Street that is managed under a group that has the contract, Community Bridges, that we work hand in hand with and have for the last 2 years. So, yeah.
Now, your organization, CBFL, tell us a little bit about that.
So I said if I was going to do something after corporate America and building companies, computer companies, that it had to have the right name, and it had. So CBFL stands for Christian Brothers for Life, LLC. That name to me reminds me that when I'm going to partner with people, they need a spirit, a Christian spirit. And because it's my company, I don't have to go by any laws other than if it doesn't work, it's not going to work. I don't like working with people that their spirit is not in it. The actual food program is named after a guy named Keith Curtis. He's deceased now, but Keith Curtis was in DC and used to be with Mitch Snyder. When you saw Mitch Snyder on the TV in DC, and he was fighting for hunger, for people hungry, and he died that way. Well, Keith did too. Keith died out in the street, but he worked with CBFL for about 5 years. CBFL, let me back up for a second, has been around for about 14 years. And we named the project, and when we applied to get the contract, we told them that the spirit of the project, here's everything you need. You need to know that we've got a commercial kitchen, that the folks that are working for us are culinary, because we hire people out of the culinary school at PG College here in Washington. We hire folks. We hired our chief guy came out of a Morehouse. He decided after going to Morehouse that really what he wanted to do was work in the culinary lane. So he was a great opportunity. Here's a great opportunity. Let's feed the homeless, is what I said to him when I interviewed him. And I went with him because there were other people probably a little bit more qualified, but I like young people. I want to push them up. And I think it'll, again, it's worked out just great. Him being the chief, we've got some folks up under him. He may do dinner every day. Folks up under him may do breakfast, but they're all up under his hat in terms of making sure that we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's, doing everything the health department needs done for safe food, and also giving people the nutrition. Not too much of this and not too much of that is really what Derek does every day. But the program was named the Keith Curtis Project because all of us knew Keith, and we knew that Keith had died out in the street, man, pretty much. So those were the folks that we wanted to serve.
Now, when you say there's 3 meals a day, it's 3 meals.
Yeah, it's 3 meals a day. It's breakfast, but what's served every day? Breakfast is served, lunch is served, and dinner is served. And then there's a different breakfast, lunch, and dinner that is served each day. Like we don't feed people, I'll use it for example, we don't feed you fried eggs and ham every day. I'm using that for breakfast. The breakfast changes around because when folks go into the rehabs, they may be there for 3 to 4 days. So they'll see a different breakfast every day. That is created by my staff and myself and Derek every Monday. And that's what goes out. That's what's those are we call them the food orders. So that's what we'll produce. And then we produce some food, some of the same meals, but we produce them for diabetics. So there's some food that is marked with a red X, and the folks that's in harmony with the folks that are working at the shelter, that they know that those are the meals that we may have taken bread out or something out and given a boiled egg instead of a fried egg. That scenario, when a person comes in and they're a diabetic, we want to make sure they eat, but we don't want to agitate anything else. So, and we also give, if fresh fruit comes along with it every day. So bananas, orange, yeah.
Now, how many people are in this operation, Anthony? How many people are in there?
In total, there are 24 of us up under CBFL. So we can feed some folks, but as I shared with you, Keith, I came out of Aramark, who is a major provider of food service and a major concessionaire. So under example, at the Mystic Ballpark, we are contracted to do that service of Rita's Italian Ice under Aramark. So Aramark is the prime. So we work up under, but I worked at Aramark for 23 years.
Oh, wow.
And Aramark is a service provider. And, they're getting the contracts for a reason. Sometimes they're getting them by, I'm going to say default too, because there's not a lot of people in the lane. but we've worked with them for the last 14 years in terms of readers and things of that nature. So relationships, it takes relationships, and it also takes a need. Um, is a real big need right now because there's more and more people coming into the shelters every day, coming into the rehabs every day. We used to see leftover food, and in the food business, you do have to throw away leftover food, but we haven't seen that to be an issue
Good.
uh, in the last I want to say 6 months or so. We've thrown away nothing because their head counts are staying full, so they give us a head count also every day, and yeah,
I mean, that's incredible because I've seen that. I mean, well, Aaron Mark is here, but in Houston, but I've seen what you said. Just limited spirit. My son and I used to distribute packaged food to the homeless a few years ago. But like you said, I mean, if they don't like it, sometimes if you drive by, you're making a loop in the community. Then, like you see them on the ground and stuff
yeah,
like that. That's a little frustrating. But if you don't, that's not an issue.
yeah.
You guys supposed to be doing a good job because they.
Well, yeah, we're also feeding them, as I tell folks, good food. There's a lot of organizations that have offered food that were leftovers, and our program doesn't work that way. We're not taking leftovers from some big affair like some of the kitchens. I won't use any
Awesome.
names. That's not what we do. We make fresh food every day, and
Wow.
we fight to support when you're contracted to it. You know that there's an X amount of resources that they give you to do it, but instead of going down on the resources, I always challenge, are we a little too heavy here or a little too heavy there in terms of when I go in the commercial kitchen in the morning? Because to be honest with you, breakfast is an easy meal to serve. So I don't want to see 8 people in here to do 100 meals at 2 o'clock in the morning. It just doesn't take that many people to fry egg. So a lot of it is managing also, and I learned a lot of that managing my own business and also working for Aramark. I was a director for Aramark. Um, Before the podcast, I sent you a email of my resume prior. But a lot of what you do is you take best practices and try to apply it to. You take best practices and you apply it to your goal. And sometimes it's just making sure that you're not placing too much labor in the early food. And when I say the early food, breakfast is the easiest one. I mean, you can bake, you can bake the muffins in an hour. Okay, so that's not an issue. So you don't need a whole bunch of people on that end. But when you start getting to dinner, I need more people because it's a little bit more complicated when you're sending them dinner in the evening. But yeah, it's worked out, and it's been a great relationship with Bridges also. Um, we're looking to do more of it. We uh, got in this lane, like I said, we were franchisees. We've been franchisees for over 14 years, but it's how many flavors do you need of ice? And to satisfy the requirement, and the answer is you need 6, although we have probably about 24. So that becomes easier to manage. The franchise does becomes easier to manage than the necessities of what people need every day. And we do a lot of water too, because we bring in water every day. We bring in juice only because, again, diabetics, if there's something going on and they just came in, you may need to give them the orange juice. Sometimes you got to bring the sugar level up. I'm not a doctor, but
Right.
where we're bringing the food to are folks that are nurses, and they know. So we 2 years ago we sat down with them, collaborated with them. They said we don't want apple juice, just apple juice. We need orange juice. We need a lot of water. So everybody has an input in what we're bringing in to the rehab, and that's how the menus come up. So they've been, again, like I said, there's not a lot left every day if we get the right head count. If you tell us you need 75 meals, we're probably going to give you 78 anyway. but we're gonna figure out that you have what you need. Mhm.
I mean, excuse me, I'm just so blown away by, I'm impressed, about the intricacies of, you doing it and the commitment, to the good food. And you mentioned that you got, you know, nurses or nutritionists on board. That I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's very compelling, for me to hear that. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
I don't want to use the mirror maze, but I really, it's dynamic thing, and that's
Yeah.
the reason I want you to talk
Well,
about it, because I mean, people I'm familiar with. I mean, they got a thing called the Houston, Food Bank here, and
yeah.
it's not nothing like, it's like
Yeah.
180 degrees different from what you're doing. That's what.
Yeah. Well, we know about the food bank. We're able to also get donations from the food bank, but that we didn't want to rely on that. We didn't want to rely on that. We wanted to rely on that with a partner, which our partner in particular here in Washington is Community Bridges, and they're really out of San Francisco, but with a they came with a certain standard that they wanted in those rehabs, and it has worked. And we wanted to make sure that everything that we negotiated to do for them is done daily, and we do it. We promised them fresh food. We're not trying to serve food that's not. I can tell you from working with Aramark, I've been in prisons. I've been in a whole lot of these places, and I know, you have some concepts that, well, we're going to teach the prisoners how to make the food. And yeah, there's some good things about that. There's some guys that can come out of there and they've learned the discipline of doing certain things. But then too, you have to support those programs real hard. I'm not criticizing those programs in this podcast, but I'm not an advocate of them because food becomes money inside of those places that are supposed to be um, rehabilitation. So I know them from the side of a business side of it. If you let folks not do everything they're supposed to do with food, again, the food can become money inside of a confined place. So I'm not an advocate of not teaching folks to be involved in cooking the food because those are villages too. Everywhere people are is a village.
Okay.
People may not look at it that way, but it's a village. And I just kind of stay away from those. I've seen some bids where people could bid to provide the services in jails, not prisons, but in jails. And I don't even put the energy in trying to be a part of those because um, they're broke a little bit too much.
Understand
Yeah,
that.
yeah. For us, we want to stay in the lane where we saw somebody living at K Street at Third and I, and a year later we see them out there working somewhere
Okay.
that the rehabs did work for them. So you're putting hope out for folks when you're able to feed them, but you're also putting out the fuel that they need, man, to change their lives. So to make some choices because it's all choices.
The fuel that they need. I mean, that could be a T-shirt. I just think it's the fuel that they. Now I'm saying that's impressive, because I mean, and I'm thinking about just the little things I've been involved in, and like, it's.
Hmm.
I mean, it probably wasn't enough. I mean, I'm just saying, but 3 meals a day. I mean, wow, that's
Yeah, it's sweet. It's sweet. Well, I
incredible.
shared. Yeah, when I met you, I shared with you before we were doing the food for. We were sitting on the sideline, but we produce floral in National Nurses Week every year. So Howard University, um, Andrews Air Force Base, which is um, um, Walter Reed Hospital here in Washington. Those are some places in Washington. We go in with another group every year, but the program was started with CBFL, where we go in and tell people thank you for your service because nurses are the ones that get in the hospital. I always tell people, go in the hospital. Doctor gonna do a round around 6 o'clock in the morning. He gonna come and see you, but that nurse gonna be there the whole shift. So we decided that we were gonna recognize them, and
Oh,
we've been doing that program. I want to say, Keith, don't hold me to it, but at least I know at least eight. 8, 9 years
That's
to where
awesome.
we stop the wheels and say, hey, thank you for your service. I think I shared some of the pictures with you.
I think you did.
They may have been from Walter Reed or the University of Maryland, but we do University of Maryland, Walter Reed, with another group that's called Heartwarming. Heartwarming
Hmm.
is a brother that was a pharmacist and he worked at Veterans here and in Newport News, and he just had a spirit for wanting to join the program. We were wondering, why does the guy keep wanting to talk with us about our floral deal? He says, well, who came up with that? Who came? He said, look, all of us have been in the hospital sometime or another, and we just noticed that nurses need to be recognized. And some of the people didn't that were associated with us in our group, their mothers had were deceased, and we were doing flowers anyway for Mother's Day, whether your mother's living or deceased. The flowers were something we were doing anyway, along with some of the churches. So it was a natural fit, but it was the right fit. It was the right fit to acknowledge that profession, and it still lives today. We did it this year. We'll do it next year. We put a budget aside for it, like a nonprofit would do, because we're not asking them. We just ask people that are associated with them, do you want to be a part of providing floral for the nurses on that in National Nurses Week? And then the floral is wrapped, so anybody that wants to provide funds to it is acknowledged in it. But if they don't, it's fine. It's going to be CBFL anyway. We're going to go out there and do that anyway. That's something that we feel we should be doing. So.
That's incredible, because I'm thinking about it. My mother was a nurse. My late
Hmm.
mother. Two of my daughter-in-laws. My son's married nurses. I'm just.
Right.
I mean, something like that. I'm not sure they get that appreciation. I mean, I don't think it's happening
Right.
locally. Uh,
Okay.
it's something that it probably should be done in here too. I mean, because we have the medical center here, the Methodist, big cancer research, and
Okay.
I mean that's something
Well,
I probably talked to you about, because
that's
it,
fine. That's fine.
it's incredible, man. I mean that
Uh-huh.
recognition.
I shared with you my partner in CBFL, which is the president of CBFL. I'm the CEO, but he's the president of it. Lives in Houston, so it's a small world.
Yeah, the young brother, the brother with the computer.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah, right,
Small
right.
world.
You said
Small
you said it
world.
to me. In
Yeah.
fact, I think I reached out to him. Well, I think you text me. I think a contact for him, but
Okay.
it's okay. I'll try it again. I think you did
Yeah.
text that.
I'm gonna make sure y'all connect.
Okay,
He's again, most of the folks, not backing up, but CBFL. I handpicked these people because I owned other companies, sold them, explained to them, just as I explained to the little brother, Adam. His name is, we call him D. His name is Adamola Akinole. He was a blessing at a company that I built. Um, 2 companies ago. And he would always ask me, Mr. Cannady, now what's going to happen? I said, well, when sell the company, the company comes in and y'all, you guys are not going to be affected by it. It's just the ownership, is going to change. So you won't see me on a daily basis. They're not buying it for me to sit up in here. They're buying it because they're going to merge it with their efforts to move forward. And we just kind of stayed in touch,
okay,
and he wanted to work with me again. And I told him the only way that we would ever work together again is that he had to own a stake in what we do. So that's how that ended up working out. Got to give our young people hope too, and got to show them how to navigate corporate also. As I shared with you, I have a daughter that does contracts every day, but I tell her all the time too, you know, you have to make sure that for the season that you're in, that it works for you too. So I taught that to him. And I think that's why he was worried when I was leaving. I said, man, don't worry about that. I wasn't, I'm just somebody with a title. The team is the one that gets everything done. I tell people that in the food service every day. It's a team. There's no I in team. This ain't about Anthony Cannady, okay? It's about the opportunity to deliver back to our village something that we should want to do. And if they don't want to do it now, like I told you, man, there's a strong side of me to say, okay, fine, you don't want to do this. Uh, Look, we pay you for 2 weeks, but go ahead and do what you want to do. But we want our programs to have a spirit. That's why that food program is the Keith Curtis Project. And when you come in our corporate office, you see a big old picture of Keith Curtis. People look at that and say, who's this homeless guy you got up there? Well, that's the spirit of the program. That's the spirit of the program. That's who we serving. He's not just a panhandler. Okay. He's somebody that deserved to be able to sit down and eat every day, and for somebody to give good health care to. So that's where the spirit comes from, Kate.
Now, let me ask you, Anthony. You getting any other? I mean, you mentioned one or two organizations, but you getting any other support from any other local organization in the DMV?
Yeah, when you hit our website, there's a whole lot of different organizations that use our service. So that's where the support comes from. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, Howard. You mentioned Howard because the engineer and we went to Howard.
Hmm.
Are you happen to be, of course, Federal City, well, university, is it a
Hmm.
university now? Are the schools giving you any support, any volunteers? I mean, because they have
Well,
culinary.
yeah, what they are giving, and we can start with UDC. I always go back home.
Okay.
Okay, always go back home. So
Okay.
we talked about how many people are associated with CBFL. The 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 I guess he's the president of UDC. President, she's the student president now.
Okay.
Okay, he is on our payroll that works with us every day. I went back there to pick up a couple of folks there. So I always go back to the schools. I don't have anybody right now at Howard, but I have one from A&T. I have one, yeah, I have one from A&T. I have Victor, which is currently a student up at UDC. But he's the president of the student association. I have Jonathan that's at the University of Maryland. Jonathan Curtis is Keith Curtis's nephew. So when I went back
Oh,
to
wow.
that family to find out about using that name, the nephew needed work. So we put him in the program. He's in his fourth year at
Awesome.
at Maryland University. So go back to the school. Yeah, the resource that we really want from the schools is people that are trying to lift. So most of the folks that are working with us are from various HBCs
Awesome.
in the area. We had a couple of folks from Howard a couple of years ago too, but
Okay. Okay.
they move on to, and that's what you want them to do. You just want to be a vehicle for them while they're struggling through. Not really struggling, but having the
No, I know what you
challenges.
mean.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
I want to mention. I mean, because a little bit about you being an entrepreneur. Because
Okay.
yeah, you mentioned Rita's being a mystic, but when I was leaving,
Hmm.
I saw Rita's at the airport. So you're also at the
Yeah.
airport. So that's
Yeah.
how did that come about? I mean, that's
So
an
so the
excellent connection.
Yeah, the Readers at the airport is a different franchisee than CBFL. So
Okay.
Readers, you buy a franchise. So
Okay.
we are still today Capitol Hill Readers. Every address that we have always goes back to Capitol Hill, like like I told you, corporate office 9, 10, 17th Street. You could be at the White House in 8 minutes from our office. So we've been in the heart of the city. But when the pandemic occurred and everything shut down, after the pandemic, we went into the ballpark. And after, I think I showed you the foam thing too, which is fun. CBFL owns an activation where we work with the city. And when the city has festivals, we own the rights of something called foam bourrée. If you look up foam
Wow.
bourrée, Foamboree is a big old foam party. That's really what it is. But we blow up the streets, and we got the blessing from the city planners when after the pandemic and folks had gotten shots and were safe to do this big old party. They says, "Well, we don't know about that. That's kind of out there." I said, "Well, just try it. If you just try it, well, where you gonna get the water from, Anthony? Look, when I was growing up in Washington, my father used to open the water hydrants. I mean, what's the problem? They can't open the water hydrants, Anthony. You know, you open the water hydrants and a fire occurs, everybody gonna be in trouble. Okay, I'll figure out the water. Can we do this?" And that was 4 years ago. We do it everywhere. We do it at the daycare centers. We do it at schools. We do it
That's
at
awesome.
homecomings. We can't even take on any more dates for Foamboree between now and October.
Wow.
And then in the winter during the holiday season in December, we do something called Snowboree. We can make snowfall from the sky. So yeah, yeah. So it's it's some fun sides to it too. Our interns for this summer, they were like, "Well, who came up with these crazy ideas?" I said, "Just a think tank of 24 people in a room." And we were saying, "Everybody's safe now. Let's have a big old party." And we don't just have to listen to music to make it the party. The activation can be a addition to DC music because we all know we own go-go here in DC. So there's the undoubt of that. There's no dispute with
Well,
that.
Chuck,
So
Chuck Brown and many others, Chuck Brown, a whole bunch of other ones. I mean,
that's correct. That's correct. Sugar Bear. There's a whole lot of them. Whole
and for
lot of
those who are uninitiated, I saw the foam. I mean, it's like what you saw show it. It's like bubbles. Okay, that's bubble land. Am I saying it right? It's
That's
like
right. That's
blue
right.
gobs. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. I mean, something like that. We could talk again because something like that will
Yeah.
fly down here because Houston is.
Love to do it in Houston.
Oh man, we could
Love
discuss
to
that.
love to have a
Discuss that.
partner in Houston. That's why I
Yeah.
send people to
Okay.
Fomarie. You'll see that we're doing it in LA. We have it in
Oh really? You doing it on that?
Memphis. Yeah, anything that Keith that I'm involved in and it works. I don't try to do it in one place, man. I don't think local.
Okay.
I think global. I
No
learned that
doubt.
from Aeromar.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
we can have a conversation. There's
Yeah.
a something that we do with CBFL. I said to you every other month, which is called CBFL Connect 12. And Connect 12 is just bringing like-minded entrepreneurs and business people in our
Okay.
office. And
Okay.
we have a boardroom there that can hold 24 people. So we take 24 invites and bring folks in. And it's not for them to buy our service or anything. It's really just so they can connect with people that are trying to do something in the community to improve the community. That's what that's about.
Well, actually, you need to send us an invite because Mr. Clarence Smith is right there. He lives in DC. Well,
We want him. We want him to come.
you send me the invite. I
Yeah.
mean, I forward it to him,
Yeah.
and we're gonna keep this connection
Yeah,
going. I mean,
definitely. And he's in the area, so he probably also knows. He's your technician, I know,
right.
but he probably knows Mark Clark
Okay.
in the local market and Allison Seymour on Channel 9. That's his wife.
All right.
They have I've been involved with them for the last 4 years promoting different small businesses because
Awesome.
yeah, we Mark Clark was with us when we launched Foamboree. He was with
Wow.
us the first day that we got the ability to where the city said, "Okay, we're gonna let y'all try it." He was there. He was there, and when
Wow.
he has done some things also in Baltimore, used to work for Kathy Hughes with radio. We're there
Okay.
for
Right.
we're there for him. So
Awesome. Yeah. Kathy Hughes has a station here, Magic 102 as well.
mhm.
So there's a lot of connection. Well, we want to come to the next meet. I mean, Mr. Smith, don't worry. He'll
No,
be
we want him there. No
yeah,
problem.
he'll be at the next one because we need the
Well, get
network.
ready.
Yeah,
Get ready.
we
It's
need
gonna be in August.
okay, well we need
Get
support.
ready.
We want yeah,
I love it.
we this it's exciting, man. You got me got the jitters. I'm so excited,
No,
man.
no, no, no. We got some other stuff to do too, Keith, though, because I know the November 20th date. I won't mention what that is. But I'm on it. I'm on it.
Okay. Well your buddy David, he's wanted to make sure he was included in that, but that's between y'all. But I'm not
Yeah.
I told him
I,
I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried. I told him I wasn't worried.
yeah. I'm gonna see him soon. I am.
Yeah,
I was supposed to see them this weekend, but because of them having to
right. right.
Yeah,
In South
yes,
Carolina. Yeah, I
yeah,
talked to him when I was leaving DC. He called me and told me
yeah.
about to make that trip, and
They're great.
that's
David is somebody that I've known since I was a kid. He's never met
really
a yeah. He's never met a stranger.
right.
He's
Man, you think I could talk? David has been a politician. He's been a filibuster. They would have to turn the electricity off.
yeah.
Stop it.
And
I
Keith,
said they just
and Keith,
unplug it.
and Keith, and he doesn't know that he is.
Right.
He doesn't.
You're right.
He doesn't. It's just his spirit. It's just his
Exactly.
spirit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we met. I mean, because
Okay.
we were real quick. We were in the Bahamas, and I didn't appreciate it. I think they were European. They were throwing money into the water. It was on this pier, and it was
Okay.
deep, and they're throwing coins, and they were laughing. And and I told her I'm not gonna say the language. I told him I really didn't appreciate that. I mean, why not just give them money to the kids? You have them diving in like about 20 feet of water to get the coins. And I didn't know David. He agreed, and we both said the same thing, and that's how we met. I mean, like what?
Yeah.
And that's just, I was like about 30 years ago,
No,
about
I get it. I
30
get
years.
it. Get it.
And
I
we
get
just
it.
we stayed in touch
Yeah.
ever since, because I mean, our wives are friends now, our wife, but
Right.
it was David and I to connect, and he's he,
Okay.
he's really got, like I say, really good spirit, man, and
No, he is.
he's that
He
type of
is.
person.
Yeah.
And he's like, if my sons know him now,
Okay.
he's like family. We have a little event. I mean,
Gotcha.
we disappointed if he doesn't come.
I get it. I get it.
That's
Well,
just how that's how it is.
and David had that spirit when he was younger. I knew both of them younger because his wife's brother was like my best friend.
Oh wow.
So I've known them forever and a day. I went to high school with both of them,
Oh wow.
and as I tell both of them, y'all both got y'all. I ain't gonna call it luck, but it y'all both good people, and
Yeah,
it's worked
they
out.
are. Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're
And they're
both
the
good people.
same. They're the same all the time. I mean,
No, they are.
yeah,
No cut card. They are who they are.
yeah.
We went on a cruise with them
Oh, okay.
2 months ago.
Yeah, they went to the Bahamas, I think, right?
That's right.
Right,
That's
right. They
right.
told us, but
And
we couldn't get, because we went to my grandson's graduation. We couldn't make it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no, and it was around graduation time.
yeah.
I was burning out, and I said, Alice, we got to take a break. Alice said, I'm gonna call Deborah, and I said, yeah, call Deborah, and she said, yeah, we're gonna go, and we had a ball. But every
Yeah.
day I would tell Alice that David knew another new person
See,
on the on the Lido deck, and it's just from conversation. That's
see,
all. Yeah,
see. That's the kind
yeah,
of spirit he had. But
yeah.
Anthony, I really appreciate you being on
Thank you for
board.
having me.
I mean, it's inspiring. And make sure you send us the invite. Mr. Smith will be there.
I will. I will.
I sent them about 18 reminders in a row, and
Yeah,
we're going to and then we're going to be doing a lot of things together. I really appreciate it. I'm probably going to
absolutely.
bring you back again. I also want to reach your daughter, and her associates
We're gonna do that.
in about 3 weeks, because I want our audience to know what they're doing and how they got. And that's motivation for
Yeah,
somebody's your young daughters
yeah,
and her
yeah,
associates doing what they do.
yeah. I'm gonna connect that dot for you. That's
Appreciate
a
it.
given, Keith.
Thank
It
you very
is.
much.
When you and from your technician, send me his email address also if I
Awesome.
don't
Okay.
have it.
I'll do that shortly.
So I'll make sure that comes to him and send me a copy of your podcast.
Awesome.
Okay.
In fact, our podcast appears on YouTube under
Okay.
Sonship Presents.
Okay.
Express yourself. And
All right.
we're gonna get you to help us with that too. I'll talk to you about that later.
Good stuff. Okay.
Thank you very much,
We'll
brother. I
talk soon.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thanks for
Thank you.
inviting me. Okay.
Right.
See
Peace.
you guys soon. God bless.
Thank you.
Okay.